So the data validation is simple. I could do it for this. I could do it for that. Anyone, I could do it for this. So you're trying to use it to create use data validation to create a kind of control on what people should select. You don't want them to select randomly. You want to control what they will select. So I'll click out here, depending on where you want it. So I'm going to do for only lists, several other things. So I'll click out here. See where I click? I click anywhere. I'm clicking here to create a drop down. So you go to data here. Up here, you go to data. Come to data here. See, some tools are not actually named. You need to hover over it to see their name. You see, data validation. Data validation. So here we are. See, so how do you want to do the data validation? The criteria. So we want to allow only lists. So you can try any of this other one or create your own type of data validation. But this is what I want to do, lists. What does lists require? It requires criteria. Okay, about this. This is grayed out, meaning it's not needed in, this between is not required in lists. That's why it's grayed out. So here, when you see this arrow pointing, it means when you click on it, it needs you to give it a range of data or a cell. So I click on it, and then I'll go and click. So I'll take item, and then you can see it's hanging here for me. I'll come and click here. It has picked the range. I could also type it out. You can see how it is, but it's better you use this. Then I'll say enter. Okay. So now you see it has created it. So I can now still do that same calculation. Or I could do it for count if. Do we have count if? Yes, we have count if. Count is count the number of cells within a range that meets a given condition. So I'll pick it. Now, what is the range? All right, so we want to count. So let's go ahead and count. So this one, it's because I'm not doing any average or sum of a thing. So let's go ahead and count this cell, because that's what we have here. So we have picked these cells. What is the other one? The criteria. So where do we have it? This place. I'll put here, where we did this data validation. And please mute yourself, please, or you control the noise on your background. Because when you make noise, it makes me shout and raise my voice. So I'll pick the criteria is here, but I can still pick anyone as a criteria here. But since we have data validator here, I'll click it here. And then I will enter. All right, so it's telling me that there are 5 binders. So let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When I come here and I will pick 10 sets, it said there is only one, 10 sets. You pick desks, only one desk. You pick pencil, 8. How interesting is that? That's nobody talking.
It's very interesting.
It's like you still do that magic again. No?
Okay, you want me to repeat the magic? So let's repeat the magic with SUMIF. I'm using different functions now that is the same, that is related. SUMIF. So I want to get the sum of, now you see the sum if has given us as if it's average if. So I want to get the sum of the unit cost. Range, that's the first one. For you taking note, range, what is the range? I want to use the range for this item. That's the one I'm using the range for because we already have this data validator here. So I'll select its range. Now I'll put my comma to go to the criteria. What is the criteria? Any of the distance here, any of the numbers here. This I want any of the letters here. I'll pick my drop-down menu, my data validator that I have created, comma. Then where am I doing the sum? Sum range is units. That's what I want to do. And then close it. And here we are. It's telling us that the sum of all the pencils is 28. The sum of binders is 55. The sum of decks is 125, even though it's only one deck. Yes, Lola.
I didn't know how to do the validator, the data.
Is it the
The
validator
data.
you guys want me to redo?
That's what me
Yes,
I don't
that's what I
understand.
don't understand. The validator.
Well, so what I want to create is a kind of a drop down. And this drop down means it's gonna just select everything here. Do what we call, first of all, it will do what we call removing duplicates and pick unique value, unique entries here. And that's what it did here. And then represent them as a list using a kind of arrow for the drop down. So let us do it together again. Data validation. See where I'm clicking? Are you with me?
Yes.
I will go to data.
Yes, we are taking.
Normally you could be here on your own tab. You could be here. But we want to be here to find where data validator is. Yeah. Then I'll go to data validator, see it here. Data validation. I'll click it.
Yeah, text column.
So now
Okay.
what I want to do is a list of items. That's what I want to do, a list of items. So that list of items, I'll come here and pick the one I want. This list. So once you can practice how they are done, you can read up data validation later. But I want to pick this list. This list says, so there are things you need to be, ignore blank. If there is any blank space on the range I want to pick, you should ignore it. Yes, which is correct. In cell drop down. In cell drop down, which is correct. What if I want to remove? I could remove days, but we can come back to this thing later. So in cell drop down is the drop down within the cell. Okay, so this one grayed out, we don't need it. These things are done, this one by the side, it's done automatically for you. So what you essentially need to come, select, click here, select list, come here and select the range where you want to create that list. So you come here, you select, you go to this will lead you to the column where you want to use to create all the lists. So I'll click here and then go to the column. This is the column we want. Yes, the column we want is pencil, item. So I will select everything and I will come this place and I will say okay. And it has selected it. I will say okay. See, it has done it for us. So when you click here, you will see them. By default, you won't see anything. But when you pick, it starts speaking.
Okay. Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
It's clear now.
Okay. Right. So let us move on. All right, guys, that is the end of Excel functions, basic Excel functions and formulas. Do you have any general question on it before we close this?
Oh, we need a break. Oh.
We need a break, yeah. So I'm going to give us 10 minutes break to go and return.
Thank you.